将欲取之，必先予之。
统领全军，即刻赶赴大江。国师，大军后方突然出现了许多带旗子的人，圣教就是悬在国师头上的一柄利剑。
江百贵，大湘就是你的葬身之地。
Hello guys, how's everyone doing? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're checking out the Tales of Herding Gods episode 66 spoiler. This part gets pretty interesting, so I thought why not share it with you guys? All right then, let's jump straight into the story. So there we were watching Chen Wanyun and the others just crumble. And honestly, I get it. Even Si Yunshang looked like someone had yanked the floor out from under her. And Qin Mu? He wasn't blaming them. Nah, he was sitting there thinking, it's not that we're dumb, it's that the Eternal Peace Imperial Preceptor is just frighteningly smart. Like once in 500 years kind of smart. The kind of guy who hears something once and suddenly he's 3 chapters ahead of the universe. Meanwhile, the rest of us? We're still flipping back to reread the first page. And that gap? Yeah, it's brutal. Then the Imperial Preceptor starts talking about Green Dragon Vital Chi, and I'm leaning in like, wait, wood attribute, right? Nope, he just drops this casual bomb. Have you ever seen a real green dragon? And I swear, the way he says it, you can feel the lightning crackle. Wind, thunder, fire, water, the whole shebang. And when he jokes about hugging a plank like that somehow makes you wood attribute, oof, you could practically hear pride hitting the floor. Even Qin Mu takes the punch. And I'm thinking, wow, yeah, everything we thought we knew, just slightly wrong. Then he explains the 5 elements realm, drawing triangles in the air like it's the simplest thing in the world. And when he breaks down how one tiny flaw now becomes a giant gap later, by the time you hit divine bridge realm, boom, you're half as strong as the next guy. Half. You can almost feel the chill run through the group. And when Si Yunshang asks what his line looks like, he just draws a straight one, straight down, no hesitation. And I'm sitting there like, damn, confidence. But the thing is, he's right. He's just built different. By the time he starts listing all those legendary scholars and generals and saying, yeah, just read their work to build your foundation, I'm thinking, sure, no pressure, right? But that's the world they live in, monsters of talent walking around like it's normal, and the rest of us just trying to keep up. So here's the thing. All these people gathered around, yeah, they're not just random passers-by. These are heavy hitters. Cult master level, divine bridge realm, aristocratic bloodlines, the kind of folks whose names echo when you say them out loud. And when the Imperial Preceptor starts dropping the titles of those 5 elements techniques, everyone just scrambles to memorize them. You can almost see the mental note-taking going on. Chen Wanyun especially looks torn. He'd been ready, hyped even, to leap straight into 6 Directions realm. But now, after hearing all that, you can feel the shift. He decides to hold back, reinforce the base, and only then move forward. Smart move. Painful, but smart. Meanwhile, Qin Mu's just standing there like, wait a second. You can almost see the gears turning. He suddenly remembers the great educational heavenly devil scriptures, all those ordinary techniques that were handed around so freely they almost felt disposable. Stuff everyone thought was too messy, too risky, too devilish. And now he's wondering, what if those weren't scraps? What if they were the real roadmap? And boom, it clicks. Oh, those scattered techniques, not weak, not random. They're the missing pieces, 5 elements, 6 directions, 7 stars, all the way up to Divine Bridge, hidden in plain sight. And Qin Mu, he's buzzing. You ever see someone realize they've been sleeping on treasure? Yeah, like that. Major moment. Wow, you can't help but think. So he dives right in, starts piecing together the 5 elements: earth, wood, water, fire, and metal, each with its own sovereign technique, and then he tries to fuse them into the Overlord Body 3 elixir technique, like he's stitching constellations together. Risky, sure, but also kind of brilliant. While he's lost in that world, the others are lining up, asking the Imperial Preceptor questions like students crowding the coolest professor on campus. Sword skills, Buddhist arts, combat fusion, he just keeps talking, calm and steady, dropping wisdom faster than they can catch it. And the worst part, by the time they start to understand one idea, he's already on to the next. Oof. Si Yunxiang gets a little extra attention, and yeah, you can tell there's history there. Respect, curiosity, maybe a bit of fondness. Even the wolf slave steps up, nervous but determined. And when the Imperial Preceptor looks at him and says, basically, doesn't matter who you are, knowledge is for everyone. Man, that hits. Simple line, big heart. And just like that, he teaches him too. No holding back, no judgment. You can't help but think, this guy, he's on a whole different level. So after all that talking, the whole group just goes quiet. Not awkward quiet, more like everyone's mind is spinning so fast they forgot how to breathe quiet. You can almost feel the gears turning. And honestly, same. The Imperial Preceptor barely said a handful of sentences, but wow, that's enough homework for a month. Then Hu-Ling-R pipes up from her perch on the Dragon Keelan's head, and it totally breaks the silence. Imperial Preceptor, have you studied demon cultivation before? And he just calmly goes, no. Simple as that. And Linger's eyes light up like, jackpot! I can teach you. And she's so serious about it that I'm sitting here thinking, wait, is this actually happening? And yeah, it is. The most brilliant man in the Empire is now listening patiently to a tiny fox spirit explaining demon cultivation. And when he asks about divine treasures for demons, and she just goes, nope, we just work really hard until we turn human. I'm like, wow, that's dedication. Demon kings don't play around. Then he starts breaking down her own spirit creation technique, and suddenly she's the one learning. You can see the moment she realizes the lesson has flipped, and she blurts out, hey, I was supposed to be teaching you. I laughed. Same, Linger, same. He just smiles it off. We teach each other. And she nods like it's a sacred pact. Meanwhile, the Dragon Keelan rolls his eyes like he's seen enough of this nonsense for one lifetime. And then it happens. Light starts falling from the sky. Not just 1 or 2 sparks, real streams of glowing light drifting down toward them, and the Preceptor's gaze snaps to Keen Mu. Uh-oh. The lights gather over his head, then sink straight into him like liquid fire. Whoa, yeah, big moment. The glow turns this fierce, burning red. Linger reaches out and yelps when her fur singes. And then Keen Mu's aura just explodes. Flames bloom around him like storm clouds made of fire. And that's when things get wild. 2 horns burst from his head with a sharp crack. Smoke with flames hidden in it curls from his nostrils. His bones shift. His muscles swell. Flame markings crawl across his skin. A bullseye opens on his forehead. And then, yep, a bull's tail drops behind him and gives his, newly upgraded butt a couple whacks. I'm just standing there like, what is happening right now? Hu-Ling-R is frozen, then absolutely loses it. Imperial Preceptor, my young master's revealed his true form. He's not a fox demon, he's a bull demon. And honestly, yeah, fair reaction. So while Hu-Ling-R is absolutely freaking out about Qin Mu turning into some kind of fire bull demigod, the Eternal Peace Imperial Preceptor just watches calmly, like he's seen this sort of thing before, which, yeah, apparently he has. He leans over and explains, almost casually, this isn't demon form, it's a kind of god transformation. And I'm sitting here thinking, wait, that's a thing? Because now I've got questions. He studies Qin Mu closely, frowning just a little. It looks like a mix of different techniques, spirit creation blended with a Mars-type 5 elements cultivation, but even he isn't totally sure. And that alone, kinda scary. When the smartest guy in the room is guessing, yikes. Normally, these god transformations are just body upgrades, tougher muscles, stronger bones, that kind of stuff. But Chenmu? Nah, he's changing everything. His chi shifts, his aura shifts. It's like he's not just acting like Mars Sovereign, he's becoming him, and that definitely makes the preceptor pause. And then the flames really kick in. Fire clouds swirl at Chenmu's feet, stretching into two blazing dragons that curl beneath him and lift him slowly off the ground. His shoes rip apart, hooves burst through. I'm just standing there whispering, okay, that's epic. He raises his hand and suddenly the air dries out. Fireballs start floating everywhere, glowing like miniature suns. Then, shk! Each one bursts open into flaming swordlight, slicing the air with real heat and power. The preceptor even looks impressed, which means, yeah, this is serious. He nods thoughtfully and says, basically, that's sunset sword skill. Textbook perfect. And with those spells mixed in, you're already punching at divine arts level. And then he adds, almost like an afterthought, that Chenmu could actually survive a straight-up clash with a Six Directions divine arts practitioner. Oh, wow, that's huge. Then, just as dramatically as it began, it all winds down. The swords collapse back into fireballs, the fireballs merge into a blazing red sun, and Chenmu just swallows it like it's nothing. Flames curl from his nostrils one last time, and the horns shrink back into his head. The dragons fade, his body returns to normal. Except he winces, reaches back. Yeah, his butt hurts, and we all know why. He stands there confused, thinking, did I whip myself like a cow? And honestly, I can't even judge him. The man grew up herding cattle. Old habits die hard. Then the camera almost pulls back and the scene opens up to this towering mountain ahead. A waterfall crashes down from the sky like a silver river flowing upside down. White spray, black cliff face, green peaks, bright sun overhead. It all blends together like one of those old ink paintings come to life. Quiet, majestic, and after everything we just saw, yeah, it feels perfect. The roar of the waterfall hit first. Loud enough that it felt like the whole world was breathing in water. Mist drifted through the air like ghostly smoke, settling onto everyone's shoulders and clothes until everything was cool and slightly damp. And honestly, it felt peaceful, calming, like the kind of place you'd want to just sit down and forget the rest of the world existed. The Imperial Preceptor hadn't taken any official roads to get here, just straight through the southern wilderness, following direction more than paths. And now, tucked between mountains, this waterfall poured into a crystal pool so clear you could probably count every pebble at the bottom. A buck grazed beside it, not just any buck either. This one had branching antlers, plum blossom spots on its hide, and the kind of presence that made you think, okay, that's not normal. Even the dragon Keelan had some competition here. When it noticed the group, the buck stepped forward, nostrils flaring, tail flicking, majestic, confident, absolutely aware of itself. And then we see them, an old man in a woven raincoat fishing beside the pool, and a bored kid tossing rocks exactly where the hook lands, over and over, non-stop. And I'm just thinking, how is this old man not losing his mind? Yue King Hong quietly mutters what we're all thinking. That kid has to be his own, because anyone else's? Yeah, he'd be gone. But then the bigger question hits. Why fish here at all? The current is insane. No fish in their right mind would bite. Which means this isn't really fishing, is it? Out here in the middle of nowhere with a divine-looking buck guarding the pool? Yeah, this feels deliberate, like the old man is the rock in the river and everyone else has just walked into his current. Monk Yun Kuei strolls up all friendly, cracking jokes about the boy scaring fish away. The elder just smiles, deep wrinkles, soft eyes, and says, "No fish? Didn't one just arrive?" And that's when the mood changes. The Imperial Preceptor steps forward, voice mild, but there's steel under it. The elder answers with a parable about a giant fish muddying clear waters, a fish that should have become a dragon, but instead decided to devour everything smaller around it. And when he asks whether that fish should be hooked, Whew, yeah, that's not about fishing anymore. The imperial preceptor answers just as calmly, except now he calls sects leeches, clinging to the fish, bleeding it dry, and instead of catching the fish, he suggests poisoning the leeches. Silence drops hard. Both of them stop talking, because what else is there to say? Their beliefs clash so deeply that words won't bridge it, only action will. The elder stands, removes his raincoat, sets aside the fishing rod. The kid is waved back toward the mountainside, and the way he moves, slow, steady, unhurried, tells you everything. Yeah, this is about to be serious. The imperial preceptor tells the group to go on ahead, cross the mountain, wait on the other side. Then he asks the elder if he's passed down his teachings. "I have," the elder replies, then asks the same in return. And you can feel it, that quiet cinematic stillness right before history writes a new line in blood and legend. The imperial preceptor said it so calmly, you almost missed the weight of it. How in his early years he'd been too fierce, wiping out sects left and right, and along with them, entire lineages of knowledge. You could hear the regret tucked between his words, and now, before he kills, he always asks the same question. Have you passed down your teachings? Chills. Yeah, that landed. Qin Mu clearly wanted to stay and watch the coming clash. Honestly, who wouldn't? Two giants of the world facing off under a roaring waterfall? That's the kind of moment legends are made from. But then reality taps you on the shoulder. The shockwaves alone would probably erase everyone watching. So, cross the mountain, Qin Mu makes the call, voice firm. No debate. They climb, mist coils around them, wrapping the mountainside in silver breath. When they finally reach the ridge and look back down, the two figures by the waterfall are already swallowed by fog, like the world itself decided, you don't get to witness this one. Nearby, the kid from earlier now rides the majestic plum blossom buck like it's the most normal thing ever. He blinks at them curiously. "You guys from Imperial College?" Ken Wan Yun nods. Names are exchanged. Wang Muran, same age as Qin Mu, but jittery, restless, like someone who'd rather run across clouds than stand still for a second. Then he drops it. Yad Capital, and everyone just pauses, because Yad Capital isn't a name you toss around lightly, that's celestial territory. So who are these people who dare call themselves Little Yad Capital? He explains it's a quiet, sacred ground full of elders, and he's only out here because his master was asked to deal with the Devil Path Imperial Preceptor who's been destroying sects. To him, it's simple. Wipe out the sects, and you're the villain. Lianger immediately objects, because from her side, the Imperial Preceptor is the good guy, the stabilizer, the righteous force. But Wang Muran just shakes his head. You're the Imperial Court's hounds, claws and fangs. Ouch, that one stings. And Qin Mu starts to realize maybe righteousness depends on where you're standing. Then Lianger, ever direct, asks the question you don't just casually drop. If your master dies, what will you do? Wang Muran laughs it off, full confidence. No one can kill his master. And then the Imperial Preceptor appears. Quiet, composed, a faint injury hidden in his voice. Go retrieve your master's body. Oh, wow. That hits like a punch to the chest. Wang Muran freezes, then runs. His cries echo back through the mist a moment later. And just like that, a legend ends. The Imperial Preceptor glances toward the horizon and says lightly, almost too lightly, that Li City is ahead, and he'll need herbs. He's injured. Qin Mu nods, calm on the outside, processing everything on the inside, and he says, almost wryly, this injury, the medicine is going to be complicated. Yeah, no kidding. So guys, that was the episode 66 spoiler. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button and tell me in the comments which episode you want next. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!